30 square miles. That's how big the city of Pooler is.
But it only has 2 fire stations to cover all that ground, but that is soon to change. 2 stations almost done, 1 more on the way, and with the buildings come firefighters. As News 3's Andrew Davis tells us, safer days and nights for those who live there.
It just doesn't seem that we're taking a breath anywhere.
But Pooler Fire Chief Wade Simmons will be breathing a little easier soon. That's because he's got 2 new fire stations and 15 new firefighters on the way.
It's not uncommon to have 2 or 3 calls or 4 calls to start dropping one right after another. And where we're at a scene, we're not, okay, we're going to leave 3 or 4 of you here and everybody else, we're leaving you. Hey, finish up whatever you were doing, have a good time, enjoy it.
Signs like this one have been all over Pooler lately, and the reason the fire department needs to expand, they took more than 500 extra calls last year, and with more than 19,000 people already in Pooler, it's only going to keep growing. So adding personnel, increasing from 10 firefighters on a shift to 14, and adding new stations to decrease response time keeps people and businesses safe.
Fire doubles in size basically every minute if it's burning actively. So if we can take and we're reducing our response time by almost 50%, well, now that fire that was started on your stove is going to be on the stove, and maybe the cabinet's right there close to it. It won't be your entire kitchen. It won't be your kitchen and your dining room area.
And not only could they be saving your home, they could be saving you money too. Insurance rates are based in part on proximity to a fire station. More stations means better ratings.
If you're an ISO class 10, which you're 5 miles from a fire station, if you drop from that just to the 6 that we currently are, it'll save you 60% in your insurance rating.
And when the new Jimmy DeLoach station goes up, that number could drop to a 4 or a 3. That's another 10 to 15% less for each Pooler family, and the only number that's not growing in this now booming Georgia city. In Pooler, Andrew Davis, WSAV News 3.
And even better news for the city and the pocket of people who live in Pooler. While the fire stations themselves cost about $1.5 million to build, all that land off Pine Barrow and Quaco roads and the future site on Jimmy DeLoach was all donated to the fire department, which means that they've expanded all their services without adding a dime to property taxes. Well, firefighters aren't the only ones working overtime in Pooler. Calls to police continue to grow. Breaking down the numbers for you, back in 2010, officers responded to 26,460 calls. In 2011, that number rose to more than 28,000, and last year it was more than 32,000. That's led to more arrests as well. In 2009, Pooler police booked 516 people. In 2012, that number was 987. More of those arrests, police say, were for simple crimes like shoplifting and domestic violence.